So here's an interesting project we can try to work on. This is our microwave. Great microwave. Love the thing. But in the last about 6 months ago, it started doing this really strange thing where we shut the door, type in whatever time we want, and hit start. Strange. There it goes. So notice it's counting down, but it never actually kicked on. But if you just push the door, it starts to work. It is very intermittent. Always works when you just tap on the door a little bit. So what I think is one of these close indicator switches back here, I think is going faulty, but it's faulty in a very strange way to whereas, you know, sometimes it works. And then all I gotta do is tap it to make it engage. So I'm hoping it's something I will be able to tear into this microwave, take a look at the switches, and basically fix without having to replace the switch, or if I have to replace the switch, I have to replace the switch. So let's tear into this thing. Don't want to lose my screws. Okay. So if you can see, this is the electronics of this thing. There's a limit switch here and up here by my finger. I don't know how well you guys can see them. Now I gotta figure out which each of these do. So I can see if we can figure out where the problem lies. I can't shut this very easily. Let's see how these work. Switch there. Actually, it's only one. Only the lower one's a limit switch. The top one doesn't have any switches on it. But this one definitely has a switch on it. So the switch seems to work opposite than I thought. I got it hooked up right now. Being off is a signal. When I click the switch, if I click the switch in, the signal stops. The continuity is cut, so that must be how it works. But the switch is fine. So I'm not quite sure where the problem with this thing lies, because everything about the switch seems to work just fine. So could be a connection in the wires here. What is the parts layout manual? Oh, a shroud can come off. Let's see. There we go. Microwave tech sheet. Parts layout. Primary switches at the top, secondary switches on the bottom, and there's a monitor switch in the middle. Oh, there's a different switch in there. I don't know what would flick that down though. Hold on, let me see how this thing works. I don't know what connects to that switch. The door might... Ah, the door light. So there's two switches. Oh my god, that's so hard to see. Let's see if I can get you guys in a position to see. So, it's super dark. There we go. This green switch is the primary switch, or is the secondary switch. Then there's an orange switch down here that I don't know if you can see. That, let's see here. This is really awkward to work on. Ah, there we go. that this, when it goes down, it pushes in against a switch that's in there. So this pushes in. You can hear the clicking. That is making this green switch activate when that pushes in. As you can see, that little swing arm. But down below, this orange switch activates by the end of this pushing down onto it. Now, here's the problem is I'm not going to be able to tell what does and doesn't activate. So I'm not sure there's, there we go. So I'm actually not sure if there's anything I can do because I don't know what's wrong. There we go. I don't know where the problem lies with this. Because I can check that other switch too. Let me connect this first switch back up that we know is working. Okay, here's the connections for the other switch. Let's see if I can get the same continuity test going on. This one has no power, it looks like. This has no power. Let's see. There we go. So we make that contact. This one gives power when it's closed, as opposed to the other one. Now, what I do with that information is the hard part because, actually, this definitely comes back to here. Okay, I got an idea. So I can put this back on. Man, I thought they made these parts replaceable too, and I don't even know how to get this switch assembly out of here if I had to. Okay, reconnected. That, I'm sure, comes down to this switch. There's no, there we go. So there's no good access points on this switch, but okay, I just used the end of some resistors, shoved them in there so I can be hands-free and listen to this thing. I mean, it seems that these switches are working absolutely fine. Did they just come loose? No. Even with the lightest tap, I mean, everything is initiating perfectly fine in there. I'm trying to see what actually happens when I just do that little extra tap and it starts to run things. Yeah, but even with it like barely clicking down, it is it seems to be okay. So I don't know. Let me try to tighten this where it goes in, just in case the switch is like tightened down. Get that out of here. Yeah, it's as tight as it can possibly be. Huh. I'm stumped at this. I just don't get it. You know what? It's the top. Yeah, the timer's still going right now. You guys can't see that. You know, I just pulled the top out just a little bit. So it's something with the top. Is there a magnetic switch or something in this thing that I'm unsure about? Let's look. There's a fuse, thermostat. it doesn't indicate that there's anything else. Oh, I see it. Okay, so there is a switch, another switch that I didn't notice. At the top, it does have a switch in it. Up here, you guys probably can't see it too well, but in here, there is another one of those same ones as the orange ones down here that this foot must be making a connection with, and it's not always making that connection. So the switch, I think, is fine. It's actually not clicking in right. Yeah, so it's that piece that's not clicking in enough. Why it's so finicky like that is a question. Wonder if I can get that switch out of there. I need to make that switch a little longer, or raise it up just slightly so it more often makes a contact. I wonder if I can move this whole bar up slightly. Oh, there's another screw hole. It doesn't have a screw in it, a little bit lower than the current one. It looks like it would hold it higher. Hold on, let me see if I can move this screw. To this one. This end. That does like hold slightly more line up. Let's see. Nope. That didn't do it. Okay, so it does look like I could just replace these switches. But I don't think the switch itself is a problem. There we go. Whew. Got it out. Okay. So, now you guys can see it a little bit better. So this is the bottom sets of switches. The main switch that the hook on the door makes a contact with. This one just makes a contact when this gets pushed in as a secondary switch. I believe it's this one here that also has the problem because it's just not getting pressed down all the way that it needs to. So I need to try to come up with something to see if there's a way to like move this switch up slightly, maybe build onto the top of the switch so that I can, something goes down on the arm. I would say I could build something on here, but I'm not sure that that would work because it needs to it needs to slide into this groove in just the right way that it's going to do that. So let me think about this for a minute. Okay, so I've gotten the switches out. I've got both the top and the bottom switches out. Oh crap, now I don't remember which one's which. I was going to rearrange them, the places that they are, just to see if that works. They are the exact same switch, as you can see, the same part numbers and everything. This one I think came from the top, so I want to put this in the bottom. I was just going to see if maybe the switch positioning of the switch will do something slightly different to it. This is just reaching though at this point, so we'll just see. And like I said, I'm not sure if I'm actually doing this, actually swapping them or not, because I lost track of which switch was which. They're kind of a pain to take in and out as well. There we go. Another thing that sucks about this is, in order to do any of the testing, I have to do this and then actually screw it all back together. Before I can try something different. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Now, if this doesn't work, one last thing I might be able to try. That's just to make something so it sits up a little bit higher than it has been, just to see if that helps. Though, you know, I might be able to, if this doesn't work, I might be able to sand off this a little bit. Just to make it have an easier place to rest when the thing goes down. That might actually work. We'll have to find out in a minute though. Yeah, I really don't think it's actually a switch itself problem. I think it's just the way that that thing sits on it, because the switch seems to work fine. It did just stop one day though. I mean, maybe the switch is getting somewhat finicky. All the continuity tests make it seem like it's fine though. Uh-oh. Ooh, it's not working at all. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Might have made it worse. Did I forget something? Put everything back like it was supposed to be. Yeah, everything is reconnected. Am I not making connections anymore? Well, this is bad. That worked. Hold on. Okay, this is not good at all. All right, everybody, so update. Started on this bad update, turned into a good update. When we last left off, the thing didn't work at all for whatever reason. I just jiggled the switches around and it started working again. So that was fine. It didn't actually break anything, but I highly suggest you don't mess with the microwave with the power on like I did. I've been working on it with the power shut off now. What I ended up doing though, is I removed this bar, and right in here, as you see, where those little, trying to get a light in there. That's where the hooks on the arms, as we saw, go into and make contact with those buttons. It just was not making contact with both of those buttons at the same time. It just would do one or the other, and I noticed that the little hook was actually way higher up still. It wasn't fully going down because it was getting caught in here. So I actually just removed this and shaved out about 2 millimeters worth of the gap on here and the gap on here, so when they can go in, it has more leverage to go down farther. And check this out, it all seems to now work perfectly fine. I can shut this, and what you guys may or may not be able to see back there, I don't know, it's a little dark, but the switches are definitely being compressed now, all of them, and it works amazingly. So let me get this thing put all back together and show you it working, and hopefully no longer having that initial problem that I went after. All right, everybody, button back up. Light goes out, which is good. It means the door is actually shutting. Notice, microwave turned on, open, shut, start. There it goes. Not even having that intermittent problem anymore, where the timer starts going and it doesn't actually turn on because those switches just weren't being pressed in all the way. So this was, after a few scary moments, a very successful fix. So should stop that because there's nothing in there. I'm very pleased, and thank you all for watching. Remember, I'm not an expert. It's not an instructional video. This is just me showing you what I have done. But do things safely, do things at your own risk. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. You know, I might be able to if this doesn't work, I might be able to sand off this a little bit. Just to make it have an easier place to rest when the thing goes down. That might actually work.